Technology is all around us, interwoven into the systems we interact with daily. Smartphones, digital platforms, and other smart systems connect us with the world in this new age of technology. In 2021, the Australian Human Rights Commission published a report titled Human Rights and Technology. In this report, they explored emerging technologies and reflected on human rights implications that have resulted from years of rapid digital growth. At the forefront of this report is artificial intelligence. Representing huge opportunities for technological growth, artificial intelligence, or AI as it's often referred to, is already playing an active role in the everyday lives of Australians. Whether it's determining your risk level for car insurance or simply choosing the next video to show you after this, AI is hard at work collecting information and making decisions that have real-world consequences. The Human Rights and Technology Report explores many topics, but one of the most interesting can be seen in the growing use of biometric surveillance and facial recognition technology. As described by the report, biometric technology involves using one or more of an individual's physical or biological characteristics to identify that person, or to discern other things about that individual. Biometric identification can be a powerful tool, but when combined with AI, it presents a number of new human rights concerns. AI has enabled the use of facial recognition in surveillance video, allowing cameras to potentially identify people without their knowledge or consent. With this technology, mass surveillance can be achieved by dispersing cameras through public spaces that actively record data about anyone who passes by. Although these systems may not be inherently good or bad, many are concerned about how this data can potentially be used against them. Individuals who know they are being surveilled are less likely to participate in lawful protests, express their opinions, or openly speak out against government policy, knowing that these actions could potentially be recorded. In these cases, human rights can be severely affected, along with an individual's right to privacy. Additionally, when data is collected about an individual, AI can be used to build a digital picture of that person. By using external data sources, when a person has been identified, a profile can be created that can algorithmically decide the risks associated with that individual. A notorious example of this infrastructure can be seen in the social credit system used within China. Citizens are monitored through the use of facial recognition cameras that can identify an individual and potentially impact their social credit rating if poor behaviour is observed. In an article by Grady McGregor, written for Fortune, they noted that in a city of roughly 300,000 in southern China, officials had installed more than 1,400 video cameras and over 300 facial recognition cameras since 2006. Similar technology has recently been used in Sydney and Melbourne, aiding police officers to monitor people who are staying at home during the COVID-19 pandemic. As this technology becomes increasingly popular, the need for regulation becomes more apparent to ensure human rights are unaffected. Other risks of AI-informed decision-making can be seen in cases where discrimination was present based on race, religion, or geographical location. In parts of the USA, a system named the Correctional Offender Management Profiling for Alternative Sanctions, also named COMPAS, is a system that judges use to determine a defendant's eligibility for parole. Research into this system found that black defendants were twice as likely as white defendants to be misclassified as being a higher risk of recommitting violent crimes. The Human Rights and Technology Report suggests that instances such as these are the result of statistical bias and can potentially affect many sectors such as criminal justice systems, advertising, recruitment, healthcare, law enforcement, and more. Through self-regulation and the implementation of regulatory standards, discrimination can be managed and removed from AI-informed decision-making systems. Within Australia, police have increasingly been adopting this technology to help identify criminal suspects, detect crimes, and help find missing persons. Even in situations where the previously mentioned issues have been managed, the current limitations of these systems can result in the wrong people being identified. Reliance on this technology can put human rights at risk, as anyone could potentially be wrongly identified, leading to their unlawful arrest. It's issues such as these that need to be monitored to ensure the preservation of human rights. Biometric surveillance and facial recognition technology poses a risk to human rights for all Australians, which is why the Human Rights and Technology Report recommends law reform to provide better human rights and privacy protection for all. If managed correctly, these systems can be used for the benefit of everyone and ensure human rights are protected in future.